Every time I pray, I have always asked for a sign, always, since I was a little girl. That's all. Just a little sign, Lord. Just a little sign.
Toni Espinoza had been praying for a miracle since March of 2004. That was when she and her husband David learned he only had 2 years to live.
And he just said, I hate to tell you this, but your heart is enlarged. It's not beating like a normal heart. EF is the efficiency rating of your heart. A healthy heart is considered at 60, and I was at 12%. It was shock. My first emotion was shock.
I was numb. I really was. I was like a zombie the first few days, the first week. My prayer was just like, okay, help me through this.
They sought a second opinion and a third, but all came back with the same diagnosis.
So it was more about getting my family ready for when I wasn't here any longer. I've accepted the fact that I'm going to die.
But Toni and their daughters weren't giving up faith. They made an appointment with doctors at the DeBakey Heart Institute, 7 hours away in Houston.
I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready to be alone. I'm not ready to be a widow. I'm not ready. I was asking God just, that David gets a heart transplant. That's what I was praying for.
They asked their family and friends at church to pray for David.
Oh, that was awesome. Suddenly I'm on prayer lists everywhere.
They all rallied around us and prayed for him, and it was just amazing.
For the next 7 months, they continued to make monthly trips from their home in McAllen to Houston for checkups.
I wasn't improving, I wasn't getting worse, but my EF continued to be 12%.
The doctors told them David needed a heart transplant as soon as possible. That's when Toni came to a surprising realization.
Why am I asking for David to get a heart transplant? Someone has to die. It did something to me when I heard that. I started praying. Give him a new heart, but not someone else's heart. You can do that. You can give him a new heart.
Thanksgiving came and went. Although he was still in need of a transplant, David was encouraged that the Lord was working.
I continued to get little messages from God. End of Matthew, I will be with you until the end of age. And then I ran across Ezekiel, where he says, I will give you a new heart and a new spirit. I truly believe that he was giving me hope, that there was something to come.
I remember saying, thank you for healing David. I know you have healed David. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. But I just need that little sign. It would be awesome if it snowed in McAllen. I believe I said Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
McAllen, down in the Rio Grande Valley, and it's pretty much 2 seasons. You have summer for about 11 months out of the year, and for 1 month out of the year, you got fall.
If you have that faith, the size of a mustard seed, and you just pray, God, your will be done. It was that Christmas Eve, and everyone had gone to bed. And I looked out, and I saw this stuff coming down. And I opened the door, and I was like, this is snow. I felt that silent night, holy night. There was no noise, nothing. I felt him. I felt him. Like, I'm here. I've never left you. It continued, and it continued. And I was just, thank you. Thank you.
The next morning, all South Texas woke up to a white Christmas for the first time in over 100 years.
And for him to show me that way, I'm just a little speck in the world, but he knows who I am.
God is awesome. And his mercy and his compassion is just overwhelming.
3 weeks later, they went for David's monthly checkup in Houston.
And then we go to the doctor, and he opens the charts, and it's just his eyes open up. And he says, you know what, I can't explain it, but you're not sick anymore. Well, Toni and I looked at it, he said, we know, we can explain it.
Because I know I grabbed his hand. I said, "You've been healed." God answered our prayer.
Now my EF is up in the mid-50s, and nothing has changed other than it snowed. We put ourselves in his hands, and he did the rest.
Since 2004, David has been enjoying life with a healthy heart. He and Toni continue to pray and thank God for their miracle.
You can be at your lowest, but yet he's going to pick you up as long as you've got faith and you believe.
And I have a profound love for him. That's the good news. It is not that I got healed. It's now I have a story to tell you of how great God is.